My name is Joe Ratterman. Been a member here at Journey for several years, and as a good friend of mine and co-founder of the Worship Wagon, Bruce McGregor. We started this about 10 years ago.
Yeah,
almost 10 years in November. You know, in a nutshell, what Worship Wagon is a church under a bridge outside for a small portion of the homeless population in Kansas City.
We really are kind of hitting a unique segment of the homeless society, but we have a regular group, a core group that comes all the time, and then others that come in and out. In years past, both you and I had tried to get some of our homeless friends into a traditional church, and most of them just will never do that. And so we've decided to take church to them. Exactly. And it's been pretty powerful. And I would say spiritually, you know, we've seen a number of people give their life to the Lord. Some there have already known Jesus, you know, and they have a relationship with Jesus, but their faith has been encouraged and the flame has been stoked because of Worship Wagon there. And so we're seeing a spiritual impact there. I would say, you know, for some, we may never change their physical conditions maybe, but we can change their spiritual trajectory. And to me, I think that's phenomenal, because I believe in heaven and I believe things are going to be different and there won't be any more homelessness or hunger. And so
I think that's exactly right. You know, the genesis for Worship Wagon, as you said, is to bring the church to people on the street. These are folks that probably are not going to find themselves in the church like we're used to, except for this opportunity. We really think about this not as giving church to the homeless as much as holding church services for all of us, and the homeless are part of that population. And I think it's also important that we look at this as a true fellowship opportunity where we get to know people, like you said, get to know their names.
It makes me think of one story. We had this one lady coming, and I bumped into her on a Monday night before we started Worship Wagon. And she was actually at the local 7-Eleven. She was sitting on the step out there and looked downtrodden. And I walked by her and I said, "Well, hey, Dawn, how are you?" And she looked up and she goes, "Oh, I've had better days." I said, "Well, will you come to Worship Wagon tonight?" And she said, "Oh, yes, I'm coming for sure." And then I continued on to my car, and she called to me and looked at me, and there was a tear coming down her cheek. Yeah. And she said, "Thank you for knowing my name." And it's just powerful when you know someone's name. It gives them dignity, and for so many of our homeless, they feel invisible. So just by knowing their name, it can be a powerful tool to touch their hearts. Like you said earlier, it's not something we do for the homeless, it's something we do with. And so it doesn't sound like a big change, but it actually is a pretty big paradigm shift. Yeah. It's fun to see how God touches people's lives in that unique setting.
Absolutely. This is going to go on, as long as we're involved. I think this is
as long as we can.
Going.
Yeah, that's right.
10 years in and many more to go.
It's still going strong.